Hey everyone, this is Tyler. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can add automatic movement to a non-player character NPC in your game. So first up, I'm going to grab my on start block and I'm going to create a sprite. I'm going to grab that block right there and I'm just going to immediately rename it. I'm just going to call it NPC for now. And then I'm going to go into gallery. This looks like a good one. Let's use this guy. I also want to change this to a new kind since this is not my player and I'm using an NPC. I want to do enemy. So my thought is I want to add some movement to this NPC. You know, in a game we can't control it manually like we can like with our character with buttons. We kind of want them to move back and forth across the screen or do something random. So in this video, I'm just going to show you how you can make your NPC go back and forth across the screen easily. So first up, I'm going to grab an on-game update every 500 milliseconds. And this is what I'm going to use to control my sprite or this NPC going back and forth because we want it to be on a timer and you want it to go for so far using a certain amount of time. So I'm going to go back to sprites and I'm going to have this set x to 0. And I'm going to click down here and I'm going to use the x velocity. And I'm going to rename this NPC. And as we know, x controls our left and right movement with the sprite. If we wanted the sprite to go up and down, we would grab the y velocity. I'm just using this one. So if I type in a positive number here, this will make our sprite go to the right. A negative number make it go to the left. You can already see the issue here is that when we set this velocity, we need it to switch to an opposite value so it comes back and goes the other way to somehow get a negative number in here. And I think the easiest way to do that is by using a variable. So I'm going to go down here, I'll make a variable, and I'm just going to call it direction. And I'm going to set direction in here. And I'm going to set this to the speed that I want it to go. And by using a positive number, the direction essentially is saying go to the right. So to make this flip, we need to set this to a new direction every time increment that we want. So I'm going to use a little bit of math in here to make this possible. So I'm going to go and find in the math column, I'm going to grab this multiplication block. And in the first spot, I'm going to type in -1. And I'm going to go back to variables. I'm going to grab direction. So what we're doing is every 500 milliseconds, this sprite direction is going to get multiplied by -1, and as we know, a negative times a negative is a positive, and a positive times a negative is a negative. So essentially, this is going to switch direction. The value of direction is going to switch between -50 and 50 every half second. And our final touch is we're going to grab direction, another block of these, and pop it into here. So we're going to assign velocity to the value of direction, and as you can see, we're getting that back and forth motion. And so to make it wider, we can say make this 2 seconds. And it goes off screen, then it comes back, and it'll most likely come back to where you want. So it's not ideal to kind of start them in the middle. You don't really get a good even back and forth. So I like to move my sprite to an edge. So we can do this up here. Change this back to NPC. Oops, that's velocity. We don't want that one. We want position. There we go. And NPC. And so I'm just gonna set this off here. Y, the max value for Y is 120. So I'm just gonna try to go for the middle-ish. Close enough. And you see, we automatically go to the left. We don't want that. So I want to set my starting value to be -50, and this will give me a positive number. and it's going to go across. So it's not getting all the way. I think if I did 3 seconds, so which is 3,000 milliseconds, I should get a good, yep, that's almost perfect. So the other thing too is if we wanted to increase the speed here, we can just type in, for example, -75, but this is then going to throw off our timing. So we'll need to get a new value for timing. If you change the speed, you gotta change your timing, and vice versa. If you make your speed longer, you might wanna go slower. Make your speed shorter, you might wanna go faster. So I like, in this situation, I like creating another variable, and I'm gonna call this one travel time. And I'm gonna put this up here. And honestly, I like putting all my variables right at the start, so I know exactly where they are, and that way I can edit them. And I'm gonna say, let's say 2,000 to start with. And, oops, not that one. I want travel time. I'm gonna put that one right here on my on-game update. So my travel time is always this right here. And that's pretty good right there. So 2,000 was the answer. And if you see, if I change this to something else, it will change the travel time here, and you only get halfway across. So, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful as a way you can add automatic movement to an NPC or non-player character in your game.